Hey everybody, welcome to the choir room. We have a very special week this week, a lot coming up at the church, a lot going on behind the scenes, and we actually have a really cool episode planned this week.
Yeah.
Mindy and a very special guest are going to be hosting it without me, but they're going to be going down memory lane / nostalgia avenue. I don't know, I'm just making up stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
And really diving deeper into what it was like to grow up, in a church, what it was like to be a part of this church's youth group and youth experience and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll tie it in different ways as well with some of the stuff that's happening here at the church.
Yeah, absolutely. Because my memory lane is a little bit longer than Joe's, so I had to find somebody that's kind of tracking with me on that. But anyway, we're really excited and can't wait to show you our my time with Miss Amberly Laird here on the choir room. Hey everyone, and welcome to the choir room. And we are so excited today. We of course miss Joe, but
yes.
Amberly Laird is here with us today, and she is here to talk with us about some throwbacks. This is Thursday, so we're going to throw it way back. And Joe, unfortunately, he's just not quite mature enough to appreciate.
Make it through those 90s.
Yeah, he's not mature enough to understand what our, he can't throw it back quite as far as us.
Can't throw it back as far as us.
Yeah. So we will certainly see Joe again next week, but I can't wait to chat with Amberly about some throwbacks here around the church. But before we do that, we want to let you know what's going on here at Grace. This past Sunday, we had Evangelist Robert Martin with us. Had a tremendous time, a great time at the altar, just really seeking the presence of God.
Yes.
It was an amazing Sunday, and just makes you appreciate this house and the presence of God that's in this house. It's amazing. Yeah. And we also welcome 7 new members, at least 7 new members, maybe more than that, this Sunday. Those who have gone through Next Steps, they say we want to be a part of Grace World. We want to be members here. Next Steps is how you do that. Mm-hmm. So if you're watching here today and you want to get involved with the church on a deeper level of membership, you can do that through Next Steps. And basically, Next Steps, you learn about where our church has come from, where we're going, and how you fit into all of it. So it's really easy. You can go online and sign up. You can start online right now, or you can come and do those 3 classes in person. It's really easy, and you'll enjoy it. So if you're interested in that, certainly go to our Church Center app and sign up for that.
Absolutely. And we also have Light the Night coming up.
Yeah.
That's coming up October 31st. And that's where we're going to be in neighborhoods in Hernando County, and we're going to be just sharing the love of Christ with the kids that come to trick or treat. So in that time, we're definitely going to need candy donations.
Lots of candy.
We need lots of candy. You can bring in the physical bags of candy, or you can go to the Church Center app and you can donate through there where the offering is at. But we want lots of candy, and we want the good candy too. We don't want the cheap stuff. We want to be sharing the love of Christ in a positive way, and good candy is going to do that.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to be giving out the good candy.
That's
and
right.
Going to be feeding hot dogs and all kinds of stuff, bounce houses at some of our locations. So if you want to be a part of that, you can go on the Church Center app and sign up and
donate your time even.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can certainly drop off candy. And if you can't do either one of those things, you can give towards this event to help kind of offset some of those costs. Right. And of course, even more importantly, you can pray that as we share the love of Christ to our neighbors, that they will be impacted by the power and presence of God, and that we will positively impact our neighborhoods. So it's going to be awesome. And then coming up this Sunday, just a few days from now, we have a lot of things actually happening. We have our Exceedingly Abundantly sermon series, which ties into our Yes campaign, and it's going to be 5 weeks to build your faith. It's going to be a powerful series, so you don't want to miss that.
Awesome. Yeah.
Also on the 17th is going to be our SUM Day, and SUM is our accredited Bible college right here on the campus of Grace World. And last week we showed you a video from our friend Destin, who's a current student at SUM, and then or Eddie, that is. Sorry, that was Eddie. And then on Sunday we showed you a video from Destin. Yeah, and so you can learn all about SUM by going to sumnaturecoast.com, but also on Sunday you can talk to some of our students, talk to our cohort advisor, Dr. Debbie Milton, and learn all about what's happening at SUM. It's a great opportunity if you feel like God's called you into full-time church ministry. Right. So awesome. What else we got going on?
We also have coming up October 23rd, the Young Families event that's going to be happening at SunWest. And I believe it's $5 to park. That's all it costs. And then the families are just going to be there to hang out and socialize and let the kids play and get some sun and food.
Yeah, it's gonna be
pack a picnic lunch or something, some snacks and.
Yeah, you bring your own food with you, and picnic or whatever, and it's just a great opportunity for you to connect with people that are in that phase of life. And a lot of young families in our church. The last few events that we've had incredible turnout, and I think it's a great event for parents to bring their little ones and let them just like run around, and you're not feeling like your kid is getting into something or bothering whatever, because you're kind of aware of those things, I think, as parents.
I know when I had the kids were young and I was a young mom, it was really important to have other moms and other families that you can connect with, and somebody that's a Christian that goes to our church that's going to have the same kind of moral groundings as you, and let the kids play, and then you can forge a friendship there too.
Yeah, and they can relate to like all your current frustrations or the milestones that you're going through and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great opportunity to connect. You can go onto the Church Center app and get more information about that and sign up, just so we know how many people are coming. And I remember when my kids were that age, little toddlers running around. But you know what?
Those days are long gone.
Those days are over.
We don't have to change diapers anymore.
No, we don't drop our kids off at the nursery anymore.
It's kind of sad, but it's also freeing.
It is. We're not going to lie.
I'm not going to lie. I'm enjoying my life.
There is joy in all phases of life, so we're definitely not discounting that. But when you don't have to change diapers and
wake up early and make breakfast for everyone.
That's true. Gosh, true.
Sleeping in is so great.
It is wonderful, yes. But we had to walk through all those phases of life just like everybody else did. And I'm really grateful for the fact that I just like a lot of our little ones right now are growing up in the church.
Absolutely.
That's such a wonderful thing to know that they're in a safe place where they're going to learn about Jesus and Grace Kids in the nursery, wherever they're at. They're going to grow up and be a part of the presence of God that is very powerful in this house. And we believe that God is going to continue to pour into them. They're going to move on to ascend student ministries, and they're going to go on to serve within this church and this body. And that's very special to give that to a kid. I know that I appreciate that.
I do too. I think that it's really important, and for our girls to be able to grow up in the church with your kids and with other kids their age that they become close to, become like family. It's almost like a cousin generation. It's not like you're just friends hanging out. It's almost like a family, because you love the Lord and you guys seek to do things the same.
Right. And being a Christian, especially now, but it does to some, especially now, but to some level, it kind of makes you different. It makes you set apart, as we should be.
We should be, absolutely. They should know. We should be set apart.
People should know you're a Christian, but that kind of creates that Christian culture that changes over time and changes over the years. And man, you look back on your life and you think about what it was like growing up in church.
And I feel fortunate, because when we were growing up, church was like a big thing. Having a youth group and being involved in youth events and things like that was really big, and it was really cool, and a lot of kids were doing it. And nowadays it just doesn't seem to be the same.
Right, it's not. And I think that you have to have a balance of, okay, how has the culture changed, and how do we adapt to the culture, and then how do we create the right culture, a biblical culture, a godly, a community culture, and what that looks like. And so we fight for that. We fight for that even today here in 2021 at Grace World. We had Back to Church Sunday. A pastor has preached multiple times about the ecclesia, the called out ones. We need each other.
We do.
And but
iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, it does. But man, I remember growing up, I was a kid in the 80s and a teenager in the 90s. And so today we want to talk about some stuff that is specific to when we were growing up in church. And man, fun, wonderful, awkward memories.
A little awkward.
So many awkward memories that our kids will be able to remember their awkward, weird memories of their time in youth group and all that kind of stuff. But the 90s was a special time.
Yeah. I feel like in high school it was like people knew you were a Christian. Like you were just a little different. You were not that you were weird, but you were just a little different. And people knew that, which was a good thing.
Yeah. And I'm sure there was some weird ones too,
Sure.
But we all had our thing. We all had our
what we were into.
Yeah. So we have a couple things, and this is where we really want you guys to talk back to us, okay?
Yeah.
Now, before we get going, I have a little goodie bag down here. I'm going to reach for it really quick.
Let's see what we've got.
Amberly went all out today. I am just loving this whole get-up she's got going on here.
Well, when your dad is Robin Cook, I mean, it's
don't
to
do
be
anything
expected.
halfway, right?
No. Thank God I wear the same size clothes as my daughter.
Wow, that's awesome. That is a testimony.
That is
right
a
there.
testimony of the last year of my life.
Yeah, absolutely. But and I was telling Amberly before we started today that not only was I a church kid, I was a pastor's kid in the 90s, a PK. And I'm telling you what, there was some not very good PKs back in those days. It was like they were almost known as being the rebels.
PK because.
Yeah, like they were like the rebels, and the ones that were like going off the deep end. Anyway, it was not me. I don't have one of those stories for you today. But I will tell you some of my favorite memories. One of my most favorite memories is probably going to church camp.
Yes, I loved church camp too.
Yeah.
Now, we lived in Ohio, but we always came to Bradenton, Florida for youth camp every summer.
Okay.
Every summer. And so we had friends that we met down here in Florida that we would continue a friendship with. Remember, you had to have like a pen pal. You had to like actually write letters.
Oh,
we
wait,
wrote
wait.
letters then.
Great segue. Speaking of pen
Yes.
pals, okay, look at this, what I got for both of us. Remember, this is a 2021 version of this, but this is one of those pens where it has like, I don't know, 12 different colors of ink in it, and that's how you wrote letters to your pen pals. Is every sentence you changed the color of ink, So that's your little souvenir. You get to keep that today. Yeah, we've also got our essential scrunchies because you never know when you might need to pull your hair back.
You never know. And you might just want to tie your shirt with it.
That's true.
That's
true. You can bunch it up on the side, but you keep
Absolutely.
them right here.
So
And if you had a driver's license, then I believe you put it on your gear shift.
Oh, yes, for sure.
That's the cool girls put it on their gear shift.
You know what? I still have one on my gear shift today.
Bonus points.
Boom.
Yeah. So church camp was like a big deal.
It was.
And the funny thing is that we both grew up in Ohio, in different parts of Ohio. But yeah.
And end up in Florida.
Yeah. But I was in the Assemblies of God that whole time, and so we went to Assemblies of God youth camp. And for anybody that grew up with me or goes back to that time of my life, you will remember the beloved Big Prairie campground. And I'm telling you what, some of the most momentous milestone moments of my life happened at that.
Absolutely.
That it was the furthest thing from like a resort spa. Okay, it was like it was just a basic campground with these cafeteria and dorms and all that kind of stuff. But we all know that the people that gather there are what make that happen.
Absolutely.
But I remember I brought a couple of little memories. This is specific probably to me today because I remember I felt like every cool girl with the big hair that could do the bang thing had this particular hairspray, and you could smell it when you walk into the girls' bathroom.
Yeah.
There's something about that smell
This
of
or sweet
shampoo.
pea.
Yeah. Herbal essences and body splash spray or whatever.
Cucumber melon.
Yeah, or what is it? Cherry blossom, jasmine,
Yep.
whatever. Japanese cherry blossom.
Cherry blossom.
You mix all that stuff together in a girl's bathroom, and it's like it's I don't know. It's very therapeutic.
It's very
I love
therapeutic.
it. Yeah, it's wonderful. But
Absolutely.
the campground was kind of dumpy, but you could get a nice whip of beauty in the girls' bathroom.
We had like a little hotel there at our church retreat camp, and it was like the girls had like the good one that was kind of like a nicer hotel, and the boys' side was a motel side, like it was legit hallways outside, and that's where the guys stayed. But I remember just making like really awesome friends there, and you always had your girls that you had to like plan your room arrangement with.
Oh yeah,
and you had to have the cool leader in your room too. You didn't want to have like the not cool leader. Yeah. Never wanted my mom to be in my room. She was a youth leader too. I never was in my mom's room. But church camp was where the first time I really saw God move.
Yes.
Like moving through people and the Holy Ghost shaking. And
yeah.
That was a big thing in the 90s too.
Yeah.
Just falling
out
in the spirit. And I mean, I remember being at church camp, like if you didn't fall out in the spirit, you didn't get it.
I had to navigate through that too because I was like, always wanting to do the right thing, and I'm thinking, am I doing it wrong?
Yeah. You had eyes on you.
Yeah,
the PK does.
But man, that's where I felt like God was calling me into worship ministry back then. I didn't really understand what all that meant at 14 years old. That's how old I was when that happened. But man, that was an amazing time. one of my favorite things to do was when the service was all over, they cracked open the snack shack, and hopefully your parents gave you a lot of money. Yeah. Oh, because if they didn't, man, you were a loser. Anyway,
for sure.
Not really. But I do remember buying these are still a hit today because you don't mess with the classic. But you go get some Sour Patch Kids and a soda, of course, because nobody cared about any of that kind of stuff back then.
Surge.
Oh,
you had to drink Surge
at 11:30
at 11.
at night.
Yes. Yep.
Oh yeah, you had to go back there and grab all that stuff, and definitely had to make sure that you touched up your lip smackers.
Yes. Your lip smacker was important, or your glitter gloss.
Absolutely. And then you had to get your. I have so many of these here today, and
let's just line them
yeah,
up.
let's see what we got. I got Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah, this is Fanta, strawberry Fanta.
Strawberry Fanta.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a big one.
Cherry Coke. I'm
still a classic.
Literally keeping that
Cherry
in my pocket.
Yeah, it's still a classic.
Yeah.
Now we have Barge's root beer.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that was a good one.
Oh, that's
and
good.
And then of course the classic vanilla Coke.
Well, that's these
now,
are like
were you a cherry
2021.
or vanilla?
Yeah.
This is a little more nowadays.
Yeah, that's an update.
But it did have the root beer one.
So you had to keep that on you at all times too.
All times.
But good times.
Also, the Christian T-shirts. You would always get your camp shirt.
Yes.
But then ours had like a bookstore where you could buy like cool Christian T-shirts to wear. Like back then, it was No Fear was the cool thing that you'd wear, and then we could get Christian ones that said Fear Not.
Yes.
And we would wear them.
Yep. And then we had, of course, instead of Gold's Gym, you had God's Gym.
God's Gym.
Those were definitely some keepers there. Now, I will say this, that I love this article from Relevant Magazine, relevantmagazine.com. I want to make sure we get props here. But they wrote an article, you know you are a 90s church kid if, okay? You had, this is one of the first ones, you had more than one WWJD bracelet.
Of course, we have ours
on. Yes, we do, and
should we shout out Pastor Jacob?
Yeah, Pastor Jacob hooked us up with these. Okay, so if you want one, if you want to be one of the cool kids, he can hook you up with a WWJD bracelet.
I think you can order them online now too.
Well,
but I think they're going quick.
Yeah. These are very special. What would Jesus do is a great conversation starter. Especially at school.
Also, if you were out with your friends and they were like making a choice, you were like, you had your bracelet on, you could remember, I can't do that.
That's right. That's right.
Jesus wouldn't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, this second one here in this Relevant Magazine article, you put copious amounts of stickers on your Bible.
Of course.
All kinds of stickers. It could be like a Christian sticker, or just like maybe like a My Little Pony or a Lisa Frank.
A Lisa Frank, for sure. A holographic Lisa Frank.
Yes.
To boot.
Yeah. I know that the My Little Pony is kind of dating back into the 80s, but it's still fun to comb that little hair, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So it just brightens your day.
Makes you feel happy when you have a sticker.
Yeah. But you put all kinds of little stickers, especially like the scratch and snips.
Scratch and snip stickers.
Or the puffy ones.
Yes.
With the eyes that roll around. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
And I think Amberly had the same Bible as I did.
Probably so.
Yeah,
it was the student Bible. Yes.
Yeah, I
mine
had
was
two
like
of them.
electric blue, I think. It was really bright colored.
Mine was the black one with the hot pink letters across.
Hot pink letters were on mine, for sure. Yeah.
I had a paperback, and then I upgraded to the hardback, and that was like my big Christmas present one year. It was pretty exciting. This one says, you ended a relationship after reading I Kissed Dating Goodbye. We could probably anybody that grew up in that era, in that world, could all probably tell a story about that, or heard a story about that, or whatever. But man, we were all trying really hard to do things right, and did we get it right the whole time?
Probably
no.
not.
No, but we were trying, and we were trying to do things the way God wanted, and some people latched on to certain teachers and certain, and people let you down. Unfortunately, that's why we have to really just cling to the word.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
When it's all said and done. So, okay, Amberly has a great story about this one. Your first concert was a Christian band no one has ever heard of.
Yes, my first concert I ever remember going to was Carmen.
Oh yeah,
Carmen, and
that's true.
And it was like the wrestling ring where he came out and he did like where he
Champion?
was Champion. That's the one. And Satan Bite the Dust, I think he also did
Oh, yeah,
that one.
yep,
but it
that was a
wasn't
couple
the
years
same
later, yep.
idea. But yeah, I've seen.
I went to the
him a few
Radically
times.
Saved concert. Was my first Carmen
Radically
concert.
Saved.
Yep.
We did the Champion one, but man,
Wow.
I don't know how many dances I made to Carmen songs as a kid.
And human videos
Human videos.
that you saw at church camp because
Yes.
some
And you
youth
had to
group put them
read.
together.
And you get
Or
your
you learn
friends
them,
together.
yeah, or you learn them like on the spot.
But you had to
Anyway.
like press stop on the tape like each time so you could go back and practice. No, somebody did it wrong.
Yeah.
Stop the tape.
Oh, because we had the battery-powered boom
Rewind.
boxes, so we can carry it around
Yes.
with us everywhere. But you know, this is so funny. Back in the '90s too, because Christian music was kind of exploding. And
Yeah.
believe me, I worked at a Donato's Pizza. 16 years old. My first. Yeah, you're from Ohio,
Yeah,
so you know about
Donato's.
Donato's. I literally crave that to this day. So good. But that was my first job, and it was in this plaza. Stores or whatever.
Right.
And when I got on my break, I would walk down the way to the Christian bookstore. It was called Moments with Majesty. Okay? But when I had that paycheck hot in my hand, it was time to go buy a
time to
CD.
go.
And I
Who was in your library
for him,
for him?
Stephen Curtis Chapman. I liked a lot of the, Third Day. Caedmon's Call.
Okay.
Remember Caedmon's Call?
I do. I do
Yeah.
remember Caedmon's
I
Call.
was not allowed to listen to a lot of the hard stuff, you know.
Oh, okay.
But so I wasn't one of the Christian mosh pit people.
So my mom has always been like a headbanger, like a legit headbanger, and we were never allowed to listen to secular music on her stereo ever. We are only allowed to listen to Christian music, and so we and my family listened to a lot of Newsboys, like the originals.
Okay, yeah,
like
yeah.
back.
I'm not ashamed.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed.
Yeah.
Yeah. mhm.
And then DC Talk, of course, when Michael Tate and Toby Mac were in DC Talk.
Yeah.
Love is a Verb.
Right.
That was a good one. Love is a Verb.
That Free at Last
She's
album.
that kind of girl.
Yeah, that Free
Free
at
at
Last
Last.
album was.
That was
whoo, it's a classic.
amazing. I read through that so many times while I was listening to them.
Remember when you could read through a CD
Yes.
jacket and see all the we'd like to thank God and we'd like to thank our family.
Yes, yeah. And I would read the whole thing.
Oh,
yeah. So we did a lot of DC Talk. Newsboys, Audio Adrenaline
Yeah.
was like amazing. You
Yeah,
know?
I listened to them too, a little bit later. I had to like ease into that, you know.
I was pretty grungy. Like I was
yeah.
like definitely the flannels and ripped jeans.
Did you listen to Skillet, who is
Yes,
still around
I
to this
listened
day,
to
by the
Skillet,
way, still
yes.
rocking it out.
But also Petra, like from my mom's generation. I had to listen to all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah. And so then everybody was like forming their own Christian bands, right? So you knew some of those folks, right?
Yeah, so my youth group had, they weren't part of my youth group, but we would go to their shows. It was a group called Mindset, and I thought they were like super cool, like super
Mindset,
rad.
if you're out there, please give us a
Mindset.
little.
I
hello.
liked the bass player of Mindset then. And anyway, I had them come to my house and perform a concert for my whole youth group for a Halloween party. Well, it was Harvest party
Right,
because back
right.
then you substituted it for
Oh, yeah.
Harvest Night. We had a Harvest Night party, and my mom was pregnant with my sister, and she was headbanging at the concert. As was I. But
awesome.
they were like so loud you couldn't even hear what they were saying. It was just like, and they would perform in a basement of a church, and it was
Yep.
just the coolest place to go if you were a teenager in the 90s.
I think in the early 2000s, there was a string of
Bands.
bands that were floating
There
around this
were
area, right?
A lot in this area,
Yeah,
yeah. My
yeah.
husband wasn't a part of any of those, but a few of his friends were.
I bet he went to a few of them,
He
right?
did, and he
Yeah.
hung out with all of them.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, good times, good times. And we talked about having the Christian parody
shirts.
T-shirt because that was like super cool, you know.
I like this one, a breadcrumb and fish instead of Abercrombie and Fish. But I didn't see that shirt when I was a
Classic.
kid.
I didn't see that one either, but that's pretty
funny.
clever.
It's pretty good.
You went to more lock-ins than actual parties.
Yes.
I was not a lock-in person because I like to go to bed. at
Oh
night.
no. So lock-ins were a big
nerd.
thing with my youth group. And I remember even when I was older and I was allowed to have a boyfriend when I was older. I came in from out of town and I was supposed to be hanging out with him and I was like, oh, I can't. My youth group's gonna have a lock-in and I've gotta be there. It's gonna be awesome. But we played sardines all night and I mean, we just had the best time at those lock-ins.
Man, I would go, but then I would be like, I'm leaving at a certain time because
You needed your bed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't want to be locked in. I don't
You're
like
like,
that
I
kind
don't
of
like that
commitment.
idea.
Yeah, I was a party pooper when it came to that kind of stuff. But it was a great time, and I'm thankful that a lot of the things, at least the principles of things, stuck with our family.
Absolutely.
Some of the other things you might know if you're a church kid, if you didn't make plans on Saturday night because church was Sunday morning, right?
And if you had a friend spend the night, they had to go to church with you.
Right.
Like I was allowed to have friends spend the night, but they had to go to church with us.
Yeah, it's part of the deal. It's just a non-negotiable. Somebody asked me the other day if I ever played sports at school. I'm like, well, if practice was on Wednesday nights,
you weren't allowed to be
so I guess I'm not playing sports. I mean, it was just, and you can look at that and say that's like very legalistic because you don't have to go to church to be a Christian. But it was a discipline in our family that
absolutely. And when you set a pattern, you set a routine, it becomes expectation the rest of your life too. I mean, it's important to be there.
And there's balance in that, It's not like, well, if you're not at church, then you're whatever. But it is a spiritual discipline, and we've talked about that here recently in our church too. So I'm glad that we've passed that on to our kids. But certainly when you're little, you're not processing all those spiritual revelation mixed in with it. You're just trying to do what you just want to be a good kid.
Yep.
You
don't want to get in trouble.
Say, you don't want to get in trouble. But I'm thankful for that. And so even though we have a lot of great memories and a lot of fun, weird, awkward things to remember, we can also look back at it fondly and celebrate it and be thankful for our godly heritage. And so don't ever, I guess maybe a good takeaway from this too is that if you're raising your kids up in church, like it's going to impact their life. They're going to remember it for the rest of their life. And
I always try and tell that to Chloe. It's the people in your youth group are the people who you need to cling to and grow closest with. I'm still close with my tight group from youth, and we've had Zoom reunions and things. And
because
they've helped make
family.
Me who I am.
Right. Yeah. Right. So we celebrate the church. We celebrate growing up in church. So as we close out here today, we want you to talk to us in the comments, okay? So first of all, tell us maybe a Christian parody shirt that you had, maybe a Christian band. I know band shirts were a big deal too. I had an autographed For Him shirt that For Him signed while I was wearing the shirt. Oh my gosh, they sign it on your back. Oh, anyway, that was in their vest phase.
Wow.
Anyway,
the like white T-shirt and vest.
They had like a white dress shirt that buttoned all the way to the
white
top.
dress ones, yes.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, sorry, I went back to like 1996 or something like that. But anyway, maybe tell us about that. Maybe tell us about some of your favorite memories of growing up in church. We just want to keep it light and fun and happy. We don't want to drudge up any bad memories or anything like that, but just want to have a good time.
If you're in the youth group now and you're watching, you can comment on some of the cool things that you like best about the youth group today.
Yeah. And so today is Thursday, so it just makes sense. It's a great Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursday.
So tell us some of your favorite throwbacks about growing up in church, or maybe stories that you've heard or from your parents or something like that.
Heard in forever since the 90s.
Oh man, don't get me started on the music of the 90s because that's like my thing. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the Choir Room today, and we'll have to have some more Throwback Thursdays going forward and remember some other cool stuff. All right.
Absolutely.
So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.